or Cannes is not the only thing that should be our aim, but our aim should be like making good movies and actually opening up, you know, the platform for newcomers. Because I remember Kevin Spacey said to us that once you are on the third floor, always remember to close the elevator doors so that the person on the ground floor can take the elevator and come upstairs, you know, because by that point, you have the option to either go up to the terrace or wait on the third floor and go together with this newcomer up to the terrace. Help each other out with the little bit of information that you have, because at the end of the day, you are going to grow. You are going to go. That's how teachers used to say that by teaching, you become a better actor. You know, and to be a better actor or to be something like, know this much about acting, you need 20 years of experience. And that's why Meisner again, because in Meisner, I love Meisner method. Like we were like introduced into every kind of method or technique, so to say, but I love Meisner because it takes the attention off of you and it teaches you to put your attention on your co-actor. First, find a story that you really want to say. Why do you want to say, and why you, and why that point to tell that story. And the second thing was positive criticism. I mean, see, you can't expect it to be a negative criticism or a positive criticism. You just have to be honest towards the version that you are trying to say, and then it is going to affect people. You know, and if they come up with, oh my God, we loved your story, great. Oh my God, I think this could have been a little bit better, great. But you should have a justification as to why you chose that shot, why you chose that color, why you did go with this actor. Because then at the end of the day, even if it's a negative criticism, you are not bringing yourself down. You know, if you watch Anurup or Written By and you have a different version, you can absolutely have a different version because you are not telling the story. I was telling the story, but I still have answered for every framing, every choice, every little details in the movie. So don't bother about positive criticism after the movie is made, because once it's made, it's made. You can't really do anything. But if you care about getting people's feedback on your script, then you should do it in the pre-production process, but also choose the people that you want to send your script to, because there are a lot of like intellectual people surrounding us. So they might be like, oh, this is a shit idea. Like throw it away and like do this thing, because they are going to try to pitch their idea on you. So find a person whom you trust, and that person doesn't have to be from the industry. It could be your father. Narrate the story to your father and see how he reacts. If there is an honesty, then you know that you're honest, you know?
How to direct actors on set and how to keep them on the same wavelength.
Shivam, that's why we get workshops. If you're casting someone who is a newcomer, then do audition for sure and see what your character requires. For example, if I was to do Written By, if somebody else was to do Written By and not me, I knew what I would look for in the actor who would come to audition for me. You know, I would look for someone who has good instincts. I would look for someone who can say a lot without saying much. And I would look for someone if she is directable. So that's the first step. You find that person first. And then you do workshops. You literally sit with that person. You go through the subtext. You let that person, as a director, the trick that I've learned is never give away the answer. You know, if your actor is saying, hey, what do you think my character is doing at this point? Then you go and be like, what do you think your character is doing at this point? You know, so like put the ball in their court, because only then they're gonna be free and they're gonna because as actors, we often think that, oh, maybe this choice is stupid, because film is not like theater where we get ample of scope to rehearse and fall and know that, okay, this is not working, so we move on to the next thing. In case of film, you get a very limited amount of workshop timing. So always talk to your actor as to what do you think is happening out concept here? What is your subtext? Keep asking what is not said in the dialogue, but it is actually very much there underneath that dialogue. So talk to them about the subtext, help them find out the subtext, and just observe.
How do you switch between an actor and a director on set?
When I'm acting and directing and I'm also managing my set, there comes a point when we are always on a time crunch. And if you're working with somebody, say Shobhuchaji sir, who is also busy doing other work, and you only know that you have him for a certain amount of time, you really have to micromanage and juggle between things. So during Onaroop, we were filming outdoors, and I remember I would have to literally give my shot, and I would have to go and check if the generator had fuel, because the person who was supposed to do that job is not doing that job. So, and at times I used to really get frustrated, but I just have this habit of not showing that frustration in front of everyone, so I internalize it. And then, mind you, the next time I'm getting into the shot, because that day, I've scheduled all my shots that I'm alone, so that I'm not wasting Shobhuchaji sir's time or Meetu ma'am's time, so to say. The next shot that I'm getting into, I cannot forget what just happened with Konkana when she was out there checking if the generator has fuel or not, if the person who was supposed to do this job is actually lying there and gossiping. I cannot forget that anger. So somehow deep down, I carry that thing with me onto the next shot. And that is something that you cannot plan. You cannot plan during pre-production. But if you know your story so well, then you can judge if that anger can actually be transferred into something and the scene can actually work with that anger. So, that's how I used to process. And when you're managing a veteran actor like Shobhuchaji sir, I feel like there have been times when it was just they have been working for a long time, and they have had several kinds of directors in their lifetime. And there have been people who believe in several retakes. There have been people who believe in the first take being the okay take. There's people who let him do what he wants to do. There's people who just go no, you are going to walk 4 steps and put the glass down. So he has seen a lot of different variations. And then I come in, who is this newcomer, this young girl, and this stamp of LA is not very helpful for me, because people kind of look at me oh, she knows too much, she's from LA. But that's not it, guys. It's still the storytelling, So when I think I've had incidents with him where he had trouble understanding what exactly I was trying to say. And, everything comes into a factor, his age is everything. But this man has taught me something which is amazing and unparalleled, which is observation on set. So he, being the person saying that if he's in a good mood, he's let's do it. 18 takes, let's do it. Let's do another take. So at a point like that, you get the, that, oh my God, this is happening. Oh my God, this is happening. This person is so interested. Let's do it. And then there has been times when he's okay, I don't get it. I don't know how to do this. So you have to, again, think about the ways or the vocabulary. Take a moment for yourself and find out the language that he's going to understand at that very moment. Again, you have to be a psychoanalyst. And it's really hard if you have to do a scene with him at that point, because you are already conscious. You're already conscious that, oh my God, maybe I'm failing as a director. Maybe he's not getting me as a director. And now I have to switch from a director and be a co-actor for him. That's a huge transition. But always remember that you should not ignore, or you should always acknowledge all the emotions that you're going through at that moment. My emotions of being hurt, my emotions of being confused, that am I being clear enough for him to understand me? My emotions of, trying to be better for him, everything comes with me for the very next scene. And that's how I used to switch. So there wasn't any switching on and off.